coming back again to Van Kempen, we say that although the forces moving around the world may be the same, we just say they work out differently. Why? Because the issue of determining any urban development strategy are informed and framed, located into the national regulatory system, and in some cases, at each city regulatory system. Those are the contingencies. These contingencies who define the different planning culture of each different country are not dictated by global structure. So in this way, it's very clear that in that translation, actually in the reaction of the locality within their local institution and defined by their own planning framework, the global dynamic is translated. So that puts to the city level, to the normative on the planning culture, an extra pressure to be able to control the global forces, and in the process of this local translation, need and are obliged, and it's unavoidable, to recognize their own culture, their own plan, and their own vision. Look. Let me finish. As we see in the global forces, we can illustrate this on how that what is currently happening, that today, as we have been widely accepted, all the countries, or mainly all the countries, are moving toward a deregulation process. In order to what? In order to be able to participate into the globalization process, the economic globalization process. In that, we can see that in every single country, this is expressed differently. So if you see, for instance, in our own countries, countries with a very concentrated powers of China is also moving to the regulation, or is in a way creating certain conditions to deregulate certain specific ways to capture foreign direct investment. That is also happening in the Netherlands, and it's also happening in Chile and in Peru. Some countries are succeeding more because they are more flexible, because the issue of change is bigger, but in the locality, in the real day-to-day life, is where these forces need to be translated, and where, there is a call from the planner or to the planning culture to be able to curate this process. So that's why it's so essential to understand it. So in short, we can say that the relationship between the capital expansion, the model expansion, and the developing of the locality can be reciprocal. So that's what we're saying, in a way, the developing world, which is supposed to be the developed world, which is supposed to be the one in the core and the one who control the decision making of this issue, with their own cities, are the one who are basically called to be the winners. As much as this capital expansion is not truly related, then the city have more problem. That is under our first axioma. Today, as much as we realize that the localities are the one who in a way translate these, then we really can localize that the potentialities to be able to equilibrate the forces of globalization with this homogenization, with this imposition of the knowledge-based economy, the high development, is not as impossible as we are. So in a way, we can see that the local base and the planning culture are also ways to counteract this effect. Then we can, in order to conclude, we can say that then it's possible to say that the urban analysis, then the possible urban analysis to be able to distinguish these local differences became the essential tool to explore the different reactions of the different countries, their responses capacity, and how they translate the local and the global interaction. So we said as well that we can base this urban change into this dialogue. We can say that the urban change is also depending on each planning culture characteristic, and we say that currently is unavoidable. So in a way, the goal for this issue is various. First, local and planning framework matters. The reaction on the culture of the locality really matters. The individual choices that are defining in this way, for instance, as Campen pointed out, the decision making to choose where you want to live, it's absolutely essential in order to translate the local forces. So, in a way, after all this author, we're talking about Van Kempen, Crawford, Friedman, and our own work, we see a very good light. We see that it's absolutely possible to counteract the neoliberal model and be able to translate to local potentialities if we conceive how these forces are, in a way, if we conceive and classify, that's why the human analysis, how these forces are combined in the transformation on the specialities of our cities. As much as we understand the process, as much as we can counteract it, as much as we can exponentially prepare and define a better development strategy to conform, to fill in the role of the planning, which is equilibrate the different forces that each of the stakeholders in the urban change are involved. This is what I would like to give us as a general goal. Then I would like if we can take one of these issues and maybe start